Now, upon clicking on this video, you might be saying, Venari who? I don't know, Venari. Why are you asking? Can you stop asking, please? I don't feel comfortable talking about this. and you know what? It's okay. Your secret is safe with me. But you know whose secrets are not safe? Venari's. It's no secret that the broker of the mall is sketchy, unfriendly, ungrateful, and just a tad resentful. And there is a good reason for that. You see, Venari has secrets. Secrets she is not keen on sharing, but secrets we can deduce for ourselves just looking at her, the broker cartels, and the mall. Now, I should say before we begin, everything I say today, I could be wrong. Like with every video I make that handles speculation, there is a chance that I could be incorrect in all of my deductions. So take this video with a grain of salt until we know more. But with that being said, I have a hunch. I have a hunch about Venari and the things she refuses to tell us. Why is she in the mall? She's clearly not dead, so how did she get there? And why is she wanted by her fellow brokers, more specifically her old cartel? And how does she know so much about the jailer, Torghast, and the mall? Again, I have my own conclusions, but before we address the unknown, let us address what we know to be true. Venari is a broker stuck in the worst possible plane of death, and she has managed to survive the hostile environment of the mall by thinking smart and keeping her wits about her.
How long have you been trapped here?
Longer than you have, mortal. That is all you need to know.
We know she was once an associate of Cartel Vey. We know she has a desire for Stygia, which is a liken to a soul's anima, and we know the jailer does not like her, or at least wants her out of the picture. But why? Well, call me crazy, but there's a lot we don't know about what exactly transpired prior to our arrival in the Shadowlands, and I think Venari is the key to understanding what we don't know. How did the jailer break free? How did the cycle of death break? What happened? What hit the Arbiter? And why is it all being kept as a mystery even though it is so important to understand? Again, I believe Venari is the answer. I believe she knows more about what's been happening in the mall more than anyone else we've met that isn't trying to kill us. Now, don't think I'm just making something out of nothing. I have pretty valid reasons for why I think Venari has everything to do with everything we don't know. For example, we know the brokers will side with whoever and however so long as they have something to gain. We see this in the other side, where a broker has brokered a deal, pun intended, with Bwansamdi, and we know the type of Loa he is. We also know how he, a pretty sketchy man himself, feels about the brokers in return.
Them brokers be up to something. You best be keeping an eye on them. Now hurry back with them mojo.
We also see this in one of the bosses in Castle Nathria, who is a broker in service to Denathrius, and by extension, the jailer, and we know how bad those two are, so there's a clear unbias for those who the brokers operate with. But there's a difference between those brokers and one like Venari. To my knowledge, those in Nathria and the other side held no previous allegiances to any one group or party outside of themselves and those who they deal with. But Venari did. Venari was once a broker belonging to a certain cartel, that cartel being Cartel Vey. And just perhaps, maybe when Venari went against the cartel she owed allegiance to, maybe she did it to work with the jailer. And maybe that reason is now why she is wanted by them. And I say this because her cartel chose to do business with those of Oribos. Those of Oribos dislike the jailer, so you can see where things would kind of conflict. You don't go around making deals with the enemy of your business partners. That's stupid. But if you were to go outside of their jurisdiction, well, then you're looking at a completely different scenario. So then you might say, okay, Dave, okay, let's say all of that is true. what then does Venari gain if she actually did side with the jailer? And why would she even help us if she's in league with the juice crew of the Shadowlands? And that's just the thing. I don't believe Venari gained anything from the jailer, but not for the lack of trying. If anything, I think she got cut out. Venari got cut out of the deal, the fat was trimmed, she got tossed out once her usefulness dried up. And I think the payment she would have received, it must have been Stygia, for why else would she only accept it as payment from us when her fellow brokers will take anything and everything off of our hands? Really, all Venari would be doing is getting what she is owed. She simply wants the Stygia she was owed for her time with helping the jailer. And if this is true, it explains much. It explains how she came to understand the mall so well. It explains why she wants Stygia. It explains why she had a desire to help us. And it explains why her fellow brokers want her dead. Maybe I'm wrong, but that evidence is really all circumstantial. It's like building the outer edges of a puzzle and declaring, see, look, it's finished. So take my words with a grain of salt, but before we end today, let me provide you with one more piece. The big piece, I would say, the piece that really made this video a reality. When we find Bane and report it back to Venari, she says this.
You really shouldn't linger here. The jailer doesn't like having his toys taken away, even once he discarded. Go on, back to Arbus with you.
By disposed toy, I originally thought she meant Bane, but Bane, he was never disposed of by the jailer. Sure, he was tortured and nearly died when we first found him, but Bane was recaptured along with all of the others. And when we set out to rescue him, it seems as though he managed to break free and tried to escape Torghast, but was recaptured. Again, that's not being disposed of. If Bane was to be disposed of, he'd be flung into the mall and left to his fate among the violent landscape. So it couldn't possibly be Bane or any of the others taken by the jailer. So it makes you wonder then, what did Venari mean by disposed toy? I'll let you sit on that without adding anything further, but I'm fairly certain you can deduce my answer from this video. If you have any questions or comments about this video, Warcraft, or its lore, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to read each and every one of them. Thanks for watching.